Hi everyone, it's Meryl here at Tula Yoga Experience, and today I'm going to I'm putting together a video showing you how to release some tension and maybe tight muscles in your low back. I owned a small nail salon for 30 years and sat in a chair doing nails hunched over for 30 years. So I ended up having some minor bulging discs in my low back in like L4, L5, and sometimes I have issues with my sciatica and stuff, and if I'm not careful, I can definitely throw my back out, as people say, and usually it results in some severe muscle spasms. And some people have been mentioning it to me, so I thought I would put a little bit of a self-care video together. So I'm just going to go back and sit on my mat here for a minute. So I love using props, and I realize that when your situation is acute, like when it just happens, I know you might not be able to move at all, and I totally get that. But when you're starting to feel like you can do a little bit of movement and you can get down on your mat, this is a great video for you. I would, recommend. I've done acupuncture, can really help with nerve pain for me. So especially sciatic pain. Sitting in an Epsom salt bath is great. I fill up my tub and put at least 2 cups of Epsom salt in there, and then of course you can add in your lavender oil and maybe have a glass of wine or something like that. But you can try those things. Definitely I would sleep with a pillow underneath your knees, or if you sleep on your side, have the pillow in between your knees. All those little tidbits can definitely help, okay? So what I have here, which I use every single day on my whole body, pretty much. Not the front of my body, but I do it on my feet and my glutes and my back, and I love these. They're the same density. I bought them from this was from something else that I had, and this was a 5-bowl system called the Soma system, and the bowls are all different sizes, so you can target different areas, but they're the same density, so it works for me. I also have a foam roller here, but I would not ever foam roll the low back. Even my chiropractors told me that. I don't think it's safe. Especially if you're having issues with discs, and maybe your SI joint out of alignment or something like that. I just wouldn't use it. So these are definitely safe. So if you can come down, and if you want to do just the massage part, you can do this standing up and leaning against the wall. And for this you really just need one at a time. But you can lay on your back, plant your feet on your mat. All right, get yourself comfortable, lift your hips, and for now, you can place the ball right underneath your low back. It's in my low back, and one is on either side of my spine, right? So I'll show you. I'll sit up and I'll show you. So I have one on either side of my spine about here. All right, and you can just kind of hang out there for a little bit and maybe let some tension release. And then I would take one ball away and just use one ball, stay away from the spine, right? And roll this whole area here, and then we'll get down into the whole glute area, all the way down in here, and then you do the whole other side, all right? So back down on your back, you'll press into your feet, lift your hips, place the ball underneath your low back, and you'll put your full weight on it if you can. If not, lift your hips, engage your glutes, press into your feet, and lift your hips up a little bit. And then you can start to roll around, get into the muscle fibers there. And you know, the muscles are going, and soft tissues are going in like all different directions. So you want to also roll in all different directions. So roll your body side to side, you know, up and back, and then maybe little circles. And then you might have to lift and move the ball itself, right, to get into, I'm like in the outer part of the meat of the glute in my butt cheek here, right? And you know, you can spend a minute, 2 minutes. If you find like a really tight spot, try to hang out there and breathe into it and let it release. Another fun thing you can do, I don't know if you'll find it fun, is cross over your leg on the same side that you're using, right? And lift your hip and place the ball under there, and you can really get in much deeper here. A lot of times the muscle called the piriformis is really, really super tight, and that's what pinches the sciatic nerve. That pain that can run down, you know, the back of your leg. So this can really get in deep. And if it's not deep enough, try the smaller ball, right? I might end up hanging out here for a little bit. Okay, so I think you get the idea, right? So you would do that on both sides. Put your ball in a safe place. All right, and then from here, you can do a few things. You can take a full body stretch, right? And just reach your arms up overhead. Inhale here. And on the exhale, you just draw your right knee into your chest, gently pull it in. And then inhale again, full body stretch, releasing the leg. And go to the other side, gently pulling the left knee in. So just to keep the video short, I'm not going to do too many, but you can do that, you know, about 3 or 4 times on each side, okay? And then from here, you can pull both knees into your chest, if that's okay. And I would keep it somewhat loose, not super, super tight. That's like that's overstretching what's already overstretched, I think, right? And you can take your knees and make little circles on the ceiling, a few in one direction, and then a few in the other direction. Right, if you like, you can do the knees in opposite directions, just opening up the hips here. Okay, and release. I'm going to grab my strap here that I have. And lift the left leg if you can. Put the strap around the ball of the left foot. The right foot I'm doing. And extend your right leg up to the ceiling. So make sure that you have a nice wrist alignment here so that you're not, you're not hurting your wrists, so your arms are nice and straight. So you want to have the foot flexed, like you're going to stamp it onto the ceiling, and your foot is like in line with your hip. So it doesn't have to be on top of the hip. The leg can be lower. That's totally fine. The knee can be bent. Whatever works for you here. Your left leg, you can keep it bent here if that's safer for you, or you can extend the leg depending on how you feel. All right. Take both straps into the right hand. I kind of wrap it around my wrist a little bit. And you'll bring the leg a little bit out to the right, and you can totally bend the knee here if that feels better for you. And you want to try to keep the left hip down. And again, if it's better to have the left leg bent, have the left leg bent in order to keep the hip down. If it's okay for you to straighten your right leg, you can straighten your right leg. So this is helping to open the hip and the whole pelvis area. And then we're going to come up and we're going to cross to the other side. But you want, I'm just going to move my chair here. Right, cross to the other side. So switch the straps to the left hand now. I wrap all the way around. And it's better if you can straighten your left leg and let the right leg fall all the way down. And if you can, open the right arm into a twist, trying to keep the right shoulder down on the ground as best you can. And if this is tough, you can put this right leg up on a prop, on a block. You can put it up on a chair if it's too much, too far for you, right? You can bend the knee if that's better. But this is also getting into the hip and the glute and the whole, this sciatic area. It's great for stretching and opening that. All right? So you can hold each stretch, the leg up, the leg out to the side, both sides. You can hold for at least, I would say, 5 nice breaths if you can. And you do both sides, right? So after you do both sides, do your both sides, right? Hug both knees in again. And then we'll do what I call supine pigeon pose, or figure 4 stretch. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, and then you pull your left knee up into your chest if you can, right? Keep the right foot flexed to protect the knee. If this is too much for you, you can keep the left foot on the ground and just gently press the right knee away from you, just getting a stretch here in the hip. And you can also just kind of, you can come into a twist here too, which is nice also for this whole sciatic area. And twist your legs over to the left, stamping the right foot on the ground. And then you would switch and you would do the other side, right? Left ankle over the right knee, flex the left foot, and pull the right knee up into the chest if you can. If not, leaving it on the ground and just gently pressing the left knee away, right? And then coming to the twist here again, stamping the left foot this time on the ground, twisting the legs to the right. All right, arms can be into a T, and you can hold the twist again, say 3 to 5 breaths, okay? And then I would roll over to one side and gently press yourself up. Coming on to hands and knees. All right, hands and knees. So knees are underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll do some cat-cow here to warm up your spine. So bring the awareness to the base of your spine, right, and your tailbone, and start there with the rounding and the arching, right? So lift the tailbone, let the belly sink, the mid-back sink, the upper chest sink, and then lift the head. Now tuck the tailbone, tuck, and then round all the way through the spine until you tuck the chin. And go through this nice and slow, leading with the tailbone, lifting it, arching the back, and then rounding from the tailbone, right, and rounding. So I would do this at least 5 times if you can, right? Nice and slow, using your breath. So this is 3. And you can do a couple of more, 4, right? And 5. And here's Sammy the cat in the photo, in the picture, in the video. Hi, baby girl. Okay, So I also have a blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, you can use a towel. And if you can, come down onto your belly. Right, so I'm in Sphinx Pose, so my legs are extended behind, pelvic tilt forward into the mat, and my elbows are right underneath the shoulders. I'm gently drawing the shoulder blades together and lifting up through the crown of my head. Take a few breaths here, trying to open up the upper back, the mid back and the low back. And then you can push yourself up and sit back into a child's pose. Toes are touching here. Knees can be wide. Planting your forehead down either on the mat or a block. Right, holding here for a few breaths. So, from all of the years of sitting, what happens is that your low back gets overstretched and the muscles are working overtime in order to try to keep the bones together. So that's where the spasms come in, and that's where it ends up pulling the bones out of alignment. So what you want to try to get to do is, once you start to feel better from doing all the stretches and therapy, then you want to start to strengthen your back, and doing Cobra Pose or the Sphinx like we just did is a great way, because that helps to close off all of the bones and the vertebrae. So all of the stuff that we did so far on our backs, it really lengthens the low back and opens it. And we've already done enough of that with all of the sitting. So you want to counteract all of that with back bending. And I know sometimes that can be a scary term, but if you practice going back and forth between the Sphinx and the child's pose, that's a great way, to warm up. And then you can also take this blanket and, I guess it's adding, an inch or an inch and a half onto the mat, and I'm going to lay right over it, my belly right over it. Okay? So what this is doing, it's allowing me to get a deeper stretch. I'm still lengthening my legs behind, pressing into the tops of my feet so my knees lift. They're so active, right? Pelvic tilt forward into the mat. But I could almost lift up here a little bit higher now because the blanket is giving my low back more space. And you can hold this, again, 3 to 5 breaths, and then counteract it with a child's pose. Holding for a few breaths here. And then we'll go into folding the blanket in half again. And you want to make sure that you lay over this in the right spot. Right? So it's like right underneath my belly button. That's right where the top of the blanket sits, right underneath my belly button, right here. Right? So now I feel really open now. So this is creating even more space for my low back to stretch. And you still want to cinch those shoulder blades together, pelvic tilt forward now into the blanket, lengthen the legs behind, right? Holding again. And pushing yourself up. Sit back in child's pose. You can stack the arms, rest your forehead down here. And then come up to sitting. And to finish, a great way to finish is to help relax your back and help neutralize it. Scoot yourself up to the chair pretty close, lay down, and bring your legs up 90 degrees onto the chair. You can do this on your couch. You can lift your legs up onto your couch. And a lot of these exercises you can do on your bed, but you wouldn't be able to do any of the rolling with the yoga, with the massage therapy balls. That wouldn't work. And hi, sweetheart. This is Sammy. But you can also prop up a bunch of pillows if you want and relax your legs over the pillows. But it's nice to be flat down here so that cats can climb up onto you. All right. Okay, sweetheart. So you can hold that inversion with your legs up on the chair for at least 5 minutes, I would say. You can use it as a shavasana and just totally relax. And I think that's all I have for this video today. So I thank you for watching. Oh no. It timed out. Oh. I don't know if the video's over or not. So, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, or would just like to share any comments, I would love to communicate with you. And if you're looking for more information about me or what I offer, you can look up my website, tulayogaexperience.com. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye.